What is up, guys? Welcome back to another daily build video. This time we're going to do something a little bit different. So usually I take you through the car, I talk about the car a little bit, give you the pro settings, and we go into like my fastest run, and then we go into a grand race. I'm still going to do the grand race portion, and I'm still going to show you the fastest run, but we're going to do it a little bit different this time. We're going to talk about the category as a whole. And for this video, we're talking about the racing category, and then I'll get into the daily build, which is the Zonda R. All right, let's go. Real quick before I get into the video, if you're looking for any of my Motorfest tunes or my Need for Speed Heat builds, I've moved everything to my website. It's militiagamingco.com. There's links in the main navigation menu for Need for Speed Heat builds and Motorfest Pro settings, so click those if you're looking for that. The link to the site is actually in the description of this video. All right, enjoy. All right, so usually I talk about the car and then I give you sort of the fastest run, and then that time at the end of the fastest run really doesn't mean anything. Sometimes I even talk about the time of the car while I'm just, you know, talking about it, and it just feels like there's no context there. Like, you don't necessarily know what a good time or a bad time is because there's lots of variables, right? I'm the driver, it's a very specific test course, and so we need a little bit of context and how this compares to other cars. So here is the top 20 times that I've run on staying ahead with specific tunes on specific cars, and there's a couple of things you need to keep in mind here. Now obviously you see the electric R is at the top of the list, and that's awesome, but I still don't think it's the best car in the class. It definitely has some handling issues that I think are much better in the Camaro SS, the 458, and maybe even the Gallardo as well. So it's at the top of the list because it ran the fastest time on staying ahead. However, I still think it has some issues, and some of those issues are not tested necessarily in that course. You know, it might just be the best for that particular course. That being said, anything in the top 5 or 10 is very competitive. Like, those, all of those cars are very good. And so you're seeing the electric R, the Bolide, the Camaro SS, the 458 Italia, the Expo GT2, the 911 Carrera RSR Turbo Pulse Performance Edition. Even the Hunatron is actually in that top 10, and then of course the Gallardo and the Murcielago. All of those cars are actually very usable in the grand races, and that's sort of how you have to judge this list. Don't take this as a like exactly this is the best top 10 in this order. You can actually see some of the times are actually really close to one another. I mean, we're talking within, you know, tenths of a second. So, and tenths of a second can be made up with, like, you know, slight driver errors in a course. So don't take this as like gospel. It's just, this is just some context for how these cars do. Now, where does the Zonda R fit into that? So this car actually handles a little bit weird. It feels like it oversteers, but then it wants to walk out on the corners. And so just despite the high lateral G stat of 1.49, it just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't stick the corners like I really want them to. As far as its test time, I was able to get a 2:40.436, which I think actually just sneaks it into the top 10 there. But even though it's not as good as some of the other cars on this course, I definitely think it's usable, but it does handle a little bit funky, and you have to kind of plan for that when you're driving it. Anyway, let's show the pro settings, and then I'll go for a grand race. So the brake balance, I've got it at 41%. And then if we move down into the suspension, we're at +7 in the front, +5 in the rear. Compression front is 5, compression rear is 5, and then rebound front and rear are both 4. We move into the anti-roll bars, +10 in the front and +7 in the rear. For the alignment, I've got the camber at -0.25 on both. All right, let's see how I can do in a grand race. All right, so I'm kind of being a psycho here, and I'm using the P1 Gold Line Edition for the hypercar class. That might end up being my demise here. And then we're going into the Zonda, and then we're finishing up with the NSX. Here we go. Okay, we can just miss a shift completely. I pressed the button, it just didn't shift, so it is what it is. This is exactly the course that I wanted to be on with the P1. Oh my god, dude. In the rain. Oh my gosh, dude. So much. There's so much bumping. I'm in the grass. Here we go. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. No one can stay on the course here. Dude, I can't even... it's impossible to stay on the course because everybody just bumps. Okay, dude. All right, we got to get away from that. Here we go. Oh, come on, P1. Oh, dude, come on. Oh, I'm back to this group. Oh my gosh. Oh, I murdered him. I completely murdered him. I'm so sorry. That was such an accident. I feel so bad. The P1 Gold Line Edition in the rain, not recommended. How far are we? How far are we from the leaders? Not terribly far, but I've raced the people coming before. Oh, dude. That's so cheap, dude. It honestly was so cheap. As cheap as this reset here. All right, Zonda, what do we got for you for the audience? Let's see what we can do here. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna drive through that gutter. Lost the rear end just a little bit there. I'm taking... Oh, dude, come on, man. That's so intentional. It's just so intentional. He's literally using me to corner. And the e-tron has so much acceleration. He's able to just kind of hang around. All right, it's honestly my fault because I didn't put enough gap on him the first time I got in front of him to where he's close enough to where he can abuse the corners. All right, we didn't quite catch up to second place in that car, but we did enough to see if we can catch him in the NSX. All right, we'll just drift that whole corner. That's a little bit of a horn honk. If I was a more skilled player, we definitely could... Oh man, the braking distance in the rain is just so annoying. All right, let's get it, dude. Come on. Come on, Trigger. Put it together, dude. Okay. That was maybe the worst turn I've taken. I went into that corner so hot, dude. NSX versus Ferrari. I'm gonna conserve a little bit here. Try to catch him. There we go. This is a very sketchy place to pass. All right, don't worry too much. We've got slip. Give him a little bump. Say hello. He took that way better than I did. And that's going to be the difference in the race, bro. I don't know why I decided to slow down so much for that corner. Oh man, who has the higher top speed? He's got it. GG's Boatin. I thought I was going to get him there at the end. What a weird race. I had a terrible time in the P1. Why am I doing that? Why don't I just use meta cars for these videos? Anyway, GG's to the people coming. I've raced him a few times before. He's an excellent racer, and of course, put the gap on everybody. But anyway, the Pagani Zonda R is definitely usable. I mean, you could see I was slowly catching up to second place on that. Ended up catching him a little bit faster in the NSX, but you know, it is what it is, man. Where it is on my list is exactly how it feels like it performs. Like, it's a top 10 car. It's something you can use in the grand races, but it's not gonna like be the thing that overcomes bad driving, which is what you were witnessing here in this video. So anyways, hope you guys enjoy the new format. I'm just trying to mix it up a little bit, make these videos a little more interesting, and maybe just give a little bit more information in these videos. Maybe that helps with some context and, you know, how these cars compare to each other. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Trigger out.